I believe we as men are not taught how to deal with our emotions. Whether it is often said or not, from a young age boys realize that they cannot just cry and moan about anything. And even if they are not taught this directly, the almost policing of other boys and girls let them know 'tis not good for you as a boy to cry. Hold those emotions in. Now think of many men that grow up and from a young age have the understanding of they should hold back these emotions and not show them to others. Because as a man it is seen as weak. As a man, showing these emotions seems feminine. 'Tis something women can do openly, but you as a man cannot. Small tangent, it's funny how boys are taught not to show that emotion and to have control of that emotion, but not have control of their rage and the things they desire. Strange. But the point I am making is to say that how men understand, and how in a sense we have been taught, and some would say even programmed, to understand we should not show and display certain emotions publicly. You see, many men understand that they have had to push their emotions deep down. To push their emotions deep down. To hide them somewhere behind their balls. Then you wonder why so many show their emotions in the only way they can, through their penis. But in being taught to hold those emotions and keep those emotions so far down, to not show them because they are a sign of weakness. For a man, then think of things like this as well. I previously made a video about how men find it more difficult to recover from breakups than it is for a large majority of women. And I made the point of how in men, they may not have the full variations, the polyphonic variations of emotions that women do. But the things that men really feel deep for, they feel deep for. Deep to the point of death and suicide. Because they have now lost this, or this love has left them. So what I'm saying as well is, look at the end of relationships. How it's okay to comfort a woman and it's not a problem. Because she's hurt because she was once in love and the love is now gone, or he was just a horrible man, and so on and so forth. And it is okay to comfort the woman. But even in situations where the woman is the one that is wrong, you still see how there is far less comfort for the man. Of course there is some, but it's far less. And the thing is, as men, add to that the fact of how men are taught to not show how hurt they really are. You see, they are hurt, but they will not let you know this. But when they are by themselves, different story. So think of all the psychological effects these things could have on men. The constant battle they have with always holding back their emotions, knowing that showing only some emotions is okay. And then also on top of that, having the understanding that really, as a man, who really cares? And that's not me even saying it to be bad. It's just a sense of it being funny as well, because it's real. Who really cares to that level? So along with the fact that we are taught to hold our emotions back in certain aspects, and that us feeling those emotions are ridiculous though we feel them, and then add to that the fact that, well, who cares? then you can have some understanding as to the way many men are nowadays. How they can clearly show that they can display their rage and their anger. They can clearly show their hate and their disgust. But you see, these men understand and know they cannot show their hurt. Especially on things like the internet. Because the world has this thought process of men aren't allowed to be, so are you? Because it shows how soft you are. Why are you talking on how hurt you are? That's a very feminine thing. And then you have to ask yourself, would this not have some psychological effect on men on a large scale? Of course it would. As well as having a lack of understanding for men that think certain ways. It's the thing of looking at a larger picture as well. It's very easy to look down on someone because their points are based around too much emotion. Once again confirming to men that you can't be so emotional because you will be seen as such. Though of course many men are anyway, but you understand the point I'm saying. So it comes back to my point of this as well. It is actually ridiculous to say that men do not show emotion, that it seems like men do not have emotion, that men seem like cold machines, men seem like robots, men seem to only think through their penis, men seem to only think about one thing. Ask yourself the question from another point of view to think, well, of course they would be like this. From a young age, they have been taught what they can and cannot display and show. They have been taught it's okay to display most of what I have just said. But to display how this thing bothered you in such a way, that is wrong. Yet how often is it that the men that feel these deep levels of hurt cause harm to themselves, be it through drugs, poor diet, alcohol, or even to the point of suicide? You have to then question again, how one is not allowed to have this feeling and emotion, but yet these certain feelings and emotions cause so many men to self-harm. You have to think that many men have a skill that is not even rated, and that is a skill as to how deep and how far down they can hold their emotions. Never a skill that will be rated, but one that so many of us as men do. Thus, the more you focus on why these things are important to you, not because others say they are, but because you know they are, you move yourself closer to understanding. You move yourself closer to being who you want to be, and not who they have told you you should be. Thank you for listening. The future is yours. Have a nice day. Hello. So I'm currently recording some more videos or editing some more videos, but there are some next to my head right here for you to watch in the meantime.